deleting documents using findOneAndDelete and deleteMany. In this video, we'll be using two functions to delete documents. We use the findOneAndDelete to delete a single document, and we use the deleteMany to delete one or more documents in the database. Here is the syntax for the findOneAndDelete. Takes a filter and option. Option will be, I guess, one of the more important options is the projection that allows you to select what fields to return. But typically, you want to return everything, so this function returns a deleted document. The syntax for the deleteMany is very simple. You just put a filter in there. You can delete one or more documents. If you leave it blank, it will delete everything. And the return of this delete function is three properties: the OK, a deleted count, and n, which both kind of represent the same number of records or documents deleted. You can use this to check if there are any successful deletion or not. And here is a few examples of the deletions for Mongo and, of course, SQL Server. And again, feel free to pause the video to look over this code. Otherwise, let's go over to Visual Studio Code and start developing these deletions. Okay, so let's head over to the backend, API, controllers, and main controller. Okay, we're going to do the deletion. I believe it's the very bottom here. We have delete one and the delete all down here. Okay, so let's start with this one first. Let's collapse this. So we need to check if the delete is empty or not. So we need that. Let's see the provider. We don't need this one here. If it exists, if there's no such provider, we can. This is kind of redundant, so we can remove this part. The ID, we don't need to check this either. And remove. So we're not going to use the index. We're actually doing a function call, and that's all we need. So, but let's move this to the top. Okay. So the Alt key and then press up arrow to move it up and down. And then now let's try catch block the whole thing, and then we'll do a catch down here. They handle our errors. Okay, and then this is for the delete. So we'll say provider find one and delete. Okay, so find one and delete. This is the one that we want to do. We just delete one, and then once it's successful, then we're checking the result coming back. Should be the deleted document, and then if there's any error, we catch it right down here. So handle error. Oops, I did something bad here. And we pass in the request, the response, and the error. Okay, and then both of these, or all of these from 112 to 118 is going to go inside the then block. So let's clean that up a little bit, and then do a right click and format document. Okay, so first things first, we need to convert this to object. So the ID needs to be an object ID. We cast that. And then when you find one deletion, it's just going to be the first occurrence. Okay, so we got to match the ID to that ID field. And then if that's all we need, and I think let's see, we delete one, and yeah, that's it. So the deletion, the data is coming back as a result, and then we'll check that to see if it's empty or not. If the result is empty, then really there's no result. I mean, if it does not find a matching, then it will return a no result or not found. And we'll check that against the function call. And if it's not, we send that message over. Otherwise, we're going to go and successfully delete that. And so we can go ahead and send the result, which is the result, back from the function. And I think that is good. So let's see. Yeah, let's go give it a try. All right, so we do delete one first. Let's save that, and let's go over to the Postman. Now we're going to delete the same one, Mary Brown here. Okay, so again, just fetch it back, just make sure it's still there. So oh, Gotta run the app first. So back in here, let's do the no_mon. Okay, then we're good here. Let's go back. Okay, let's do one more time. So we did not find the ID, or maybe I changed it somehow. I think I changed one of the numbers. I don't remember now. Let's get all of them. We're gonna just delete the last one, okay? The last one on the list, so it will be at the very bottom here. It's easier to find. So this is the ID, and let's go back up and put it here. We fetch our information, and just single record you want to delete. Okay, so let's go over to the delete and hit send. And so it seems to be okay. As we can see, we deleted that and we send the same document back. Okay, if you want to confirm it's deleted or not, we can go back to get, and we should not get any back. Okay, so that's working nicely. So we're good. We can then go ahead and do the delete all. So now that's good. So down here, this is actually very easy as well. We not gonna need this provider here. We can delete that, and we check that again just like before. So we do the try catch, and then we're gonna catch down in the bottom here. Oops, catch the error. We're gonna pass that. We're gonna handle the error. Okay, I misspelled catch. All right, and then down here we're gonna do a provider dot delete one. Actually, delete many. Okay, so we're not gonna put anything here. We can leave it blank or like that. We'll see which one it takes. But just to be safe, you can put a blank curly braces in there, and then return a promise. So we're gonna check the result, and then result will be return. So let's move that inside first, and then down here we do the catch error. So I'm going to copy this one here, line 115, and just paste it right down here. And let's clean this up. Okay, so when we return the data back, we're going to get the result. Now the result here returns just three things: the OK, meaning it was successful or not, I guess, and then returns a I think deleted count, that property, and also the letter n, the variable n, also kind of same as the property for the deleted count. It's safer to put the deleted count, okay? If that, so we're not going to send that over to the function call because we're just checking a single variable. So you can actually change this to say if the result is equal to 0, okay? That means nothing has been deleted. Either the list is empty or something like that. If something happened, we weren't able to delete that. So we're going to check for the 0 count. And so we can see if it's 0, then nothing is deleted. Otherwise, it's all done. And we just send a message back saying the deleted. We can also send the results so you can kind of see what's like over there. So we'll put a /n for a line feed, and we'll return the results so you can see in the postman. Okay, so let's save this and let's go and delete all our records. All right, so make sure the IP address, the API matches. Get everything. We should have about 21 records, and I'm gonna do a delete and no ID, so it's gonna delete all. And you can see that all providers deleted. It has a variable here which is not so nice, but actually it's all gone. Okay, this is probably I did not do it correctly. But if you go to the get, you see that nothing is returned. If I try to delete, and if I pass an ID, just any ID here, you see that it's nothing to delete, right? So it's all gone. Now let's go into the MongoDB Compass and refresh our data. You see that there's no more record. There shouldn't be any more here, all gone. I'm going to do another import, the same data back, so we have that to play with. And just say okay, import, okay, and then we are back to our 20 records. Okay, so let's go and check the code. There's an error in here somewhere. It didn't work. Yeah, I put a bracket /n. Let's save that. All right, so let's go and do one more run. Okay, I'm going to do a fetch all first. Make sure it's all there. So here we go. All the records are back. Okay, so I want to do a delete all. And then here we go, all gone. And it returns an object. So yeah, I should have converted that. But anyway, so that's all gone. So we're good there. All right. Now, one more thing I want to do is back in here. So I want to remove this result thing here. The last thing I want to do is if you go to a route that doesn't match, okay, you're going to get an error. So we're going to modify the routes here, the main route. So we get all these routes here. So if you find a non-matching route, so we need to take care of that in here as well. So it's really important because you might you don't want to throw a really ugly message to the user. So here's like for any no matching API endpoints. Okay, so we're going to say router dot router dot post. Okay, we'll do the post. We can do for post and get as well, but I think post will be just fine. We can do both. And here the pattern would be a star. So //star. If you find that is a not found, so we call a function called not found. We can create one. We invoke that. Okay. And then right here we're going to have a function, a very simple function, not found. And I'll put not found here. And then we'll put, well, it's going to receive the request and respond to, right? And then we'll do here a status of maybe like a 400 because no such result. So I'm going to send a message, say, not a valid endpoint or something like that. Okay, or API or whatever we call it, so that the users are not so annoyed by the result. You can do the same thing here as well. You can copy that another one, and this is for the the get or for all of them, right? Well, the get if there's no such endpoint, and the put no such endpoint, and then of course the delete. If you go to any of the records that is not part of the providers, okay, and then it's gonna go and run all these functions down here. So let's save that and let's see if that works. Let's go to the Postman and say I want to if I get that from the provider, I get a no list found. If I happen to remove that, or I get a very strange ABC address, and you see that this is something wrong. Well, it's expecting a string. If I do like this, right, and that's not a pattern, so you see that it's invalid endpoint. Okay, same thing for if you want to get a post, it's not valid. For a put. So just a catch-all thing, just to make sure everything is there, and so that is another feature you want to make sure you catch all of that as well. Okay, so I think that is all good to go, and our main control is all taken care of, and we did some validation already in the schema, and so we're good to go here. Okay, so this is the end of this section and also the end of the backend framework. In the next section, we're going to shift gear and build a front-end application using a modern JavaScript framework.